together with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah. It's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome, guys, back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. I'm Timothy Earle. It's just me today. Nick is working, so he is not going to be able to be part of the show today, which is fine. We don't need Nick. No, I'm kidding. But no, we have a decent-sized card we're going to have to try to work through because I do have to be kind of leaving here in about an hour. But we've got the national championship. We've got a bunch of hockey and a bunch of NBA. So we'll have to jump into that soon. Before we jump into it, we'll look back at yesterday. It sucked. 0-3 day. Memphis didn't get there in college basketball. Neither did Temple, and the Ravens lose as well. So 0-3 day, not fun. But a bunch of stuff going on today, and ready to try to have a little bit more of a bounce back day today. So let's do it. What's up, Nicholas Handy? Welcome. Let's just start off real quick in the national championship, where we get the Notre Dame Fighting Irish taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are 8.5-point favorites with a total of 45 in this game. Ohio State coming into this one as the big favorite. They were 13-2 this year. So far in the playoffs, pretty secure wins against Tennessee, Oregon, and Texas, all of them by double digits. They are coming off of a 13-2 season. Their only losses were to Michigan and what was the number one team in the nation in Oregon. On the opposite side, you got Notre Dame, who's coming into this one 14-1, 10-2 against the spread, 7-5 over under. They have two double-digit wins in the football playoff against Indiana and Georgia, and then a last-second win last week versus Penn State. Turned that one into it. That was a 3-point win for Notre Dame, so a nice win there. Their only loss this year was to NIU in week 2 as one of the biggest dogs, one of the biggest favorites of the year, and they lost that game. But it is what it is because they end up going off and rattling off 13 straight wins. It's a different team from that time. And if you guys didn't know for this game, I know it's on my Cappertek, which I don't really use anymore, but I do have a 15-1 ticket on Notre Dame to win the Natty. I did throw $50 at it, so hopefully a $750 payday. I got Notre Dame 15-1 to win this game. They're now plus 300. So, and I know someone will come in and tell me that he has a ticket for plus 500 for Ohio State. Good for you. If you have a ticket that's 15-1, and now all of a sudden, in order for it to hit, it's a plus 300, yeah, I'm going to take that value every single day of the week. I'm very happy, win or loss with that bet. The fact that Notre Dame got to the Natty is really solid for that. So I'm happy either way. But I got 15-1 on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to win the national championship. And I believe this line actually opened up at 9.5. It's down to 8.5. So at least we're seeing some line movement towards the Irish here. So I do like Notre Dame to get the job done in the national championship. Let's go ahead. No chat. So we'll go ahead and head over to the hockey realms. We'll start off with the San Jose Sharks against the Boston Bruins. The Bruins are 250 favorites in this one with a total of 5.5. You've got the Bruins, who this line did open up at a minus 260, went down to a minus 250. All the money is all the bets are currently on the Bruins. But I know Nick really doesn't like to use market movements for hockey games. We'll look at the two sides. Sharks 14, 28, and 6 this year. And they're 20, 25, and 3 over under. They lost 5 out of their last 6 games. The only time that they won was a 6-3 win versus the Detroit Red Wings as a big dog. On the opposite side, you got the Boston Bruins, 22-19-6. They are 23-23-1 over-under. And you look at them, I can see a draw in this game. The Bruins have gone to overtime 3 times in the last 6 games. And all the times they were slight dogs, but I can see this game going to overtime. And I would actually kind of lean towards the Sharks in this one. I can get plus like 200, 205 for the Sharks. I kind of lean in that direction. I think I want to start off my card with the Sharks today on the money line. And I might end up having a little bit of action on the draw in this game as well. But we'll start off the card with some Sharks action in this one, which will keep us rolling. We've got the Minnesota Wild taking on the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche are 230 favorites in this one with a total of 6. It's a really big spread, but it kind of makes sense. The line's going towards them, and it looks like a lot of the bets are currently on the Wild, which actually I didn't even log in to. I have Action Network, but I don't really use it all that often. Yeah, all the money, all the tickets are on the Avalanche. The lines move towards them. It makes sense. Although I would have kind of expected to move a little bit more towards them. You got the Wild coming into this game 27-15-4, 21-23-2 towards the under. They have lost 3 straight games, including getting smacked around by the Nashville Predators in their last game, 6-2. You got the Colorado Avalanche coming into this one, 28-18-1. They're 23-21-3 against the spread, coming off of a very satisfying win versus the Dallas Stars, where they doubled the score 6-3. Let's go ahead and we're gonna make Terry proud. We're gonna take the Wild here, plus the 190. I kind of like these dogs today, especially in the early games, because the Sharks game starts at 1 and the Wild game starts at 3, and then the next game we'll talk about starts at 4. But these are early games today, which is fun to see on MLK Day. So we're going to grab a little bit of dog action. We're going to grab the Minnesota Wild in this one. Still no chat, which is okay, which will just let us keep on rolling through the games. You got the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Seattle Kraken. Kraken are a 5.5-point favorite with a total. This total is 5.5. Kraken to minus 125. Sabres coming into this one 17-23-5. And they're 24-14-7 towards the over. They're coming off of an ugly loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins. On the opposite side, you got the Seattle Kraken, who are 20-24-3. They are 23-21-3 over under, coming off of a nice win versus the Kings at home. Now, I looked at this one, and this one, let's see. The line opened up at minus 140 for the Kraken. All the money and everything's on them, and it's dropped to 120, 125. It's a little bit interesting. I'm not betting the Sabres. I'm just not going to do it. Instead, one of the other things I kind of like is the over in this game. I feel like this could be a higher scoring game. Yes, I know it's a 1:00 game in Seattle, but this has been a Sabres team that's been scoring, and their defense has not been there. I'm going to go to alternative lines. I can get 6.5 at plus 135. I'm going to take the over here. I'm going to take the over. I'm grabbing over 6.5. Take an alternative line at plus 135. It's funny because they offer me 6.5 on Bovada and then 8.5. 8.5 is 450. I don't hate that either, but I could see this one being a high-scoring game between the Kraken and the Sabres. Sabres Day Revenge. Why? When did they play? Oh, they just played. They just played in Buffalo, and the Kraken won 6-2. Yeah, you know what? I guess I'm taking the Sabres too. We'll take the Sabres in regulation. What can I get for that one? Sabres, that's not an alternative line. Sabres, regulation. That's plus 165. We're gonna get involved in the NHL today. We're gonna try to make some money in the NHL. Looks like a nice card. And we're gonna grab 3 dogs to start the day. So let's do that. Hey Markel, how you doing? Let's keep on rolling. We get the St. Louis Blues taking on the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are minus 200 in this game with a total of 6. St. Louis comes into this. Actually, hold on. The line for this one opened up around 200, and it's now down to 165. So a little bit of action towards the Golden line, moving against the Golden Knights, more towards the St. Louis Blues in this one, with a lot of the money, a lot of the tickets on the Golden Knights. Damn, this might be a big dog day, but we'll see. 22, 21, and 4 for the Blues this year. 18, 25, and 4 they're more of an under team this year. They're coming off of a 4-2 loss to Utah, when previous to that, they came off of back-to-back wins versus Calgary. On the opposite side, we got the team that I think is the best team in hockey, and then they go and they lose 5 out of 6 games. They're 29, 14, and 3. They're 22, 23, and 1 against the spread. You've got, and they've lost 5 out of 6. The only time they won was against the Minnesota Wild. They have losses to both New York teams, Nashville, Carolina, and Chicago. If there's any time for them to bounce back, though, I feel like this could be the game. Coming off of an ugly loss, I'm not gonna end up touching this game. I personally have a future on the Vegas Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup. So I took that a couple weeks ago. I don't feel like I need to bet any Golden Knights games now, just because I have that a little bit of action there. I'll be rooting for the Golden Knights tonight, but I'm not going to have anything going on in this one. Let's keep on rolling. We got the Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the New York Islanders. The Islanders are minus 165 in this game with a total of 5.5. I am starting to see some 170s. This line opened up around Islanders minus 160. It's now up to about 165. So there you go. You got the Columbus Blue Jackets coming into this one 22, 17, and 7. And they are 29, 16, and 1 towards the over. They're coming off of an overtime loss versus the Rangers, 1-0. So I think I know what Nick would want in this game. On the opposite side, you got the Islanders, who are 18, 20, and 7. And they're 23, 20, and 2 towards the over. They're coming off of a 4-1 win versus the San Jose Sharks. And I know if Nick was here, he would be telling us to take the over, because the Columbus Blue Jackets were coming off of a shutout loss. And let's go ahead and look at that one. Is there a possibility to get alternative lines? Nope, they're all annoying. It won't give me a 7, which is fine. I would kind of want to go Columbus team total over, but I don't hate the over in general in this game. You can get over 6.5 as an alternative line at plus 125. So you can look towards that. But I feel like the over in this game is the play. I know that's one of Nick's system plays. So I'm going to end up going over 6.5, and I can get plus 125 for that, compared to the 5.5 that is minus 120 towards the over. I like to go after a little bit of plus money when it comes to hockey. I'm going to go after the over in this Islanders game. Still no chat, so let's keep on rolling. It's fine. I feel like we're breaking down these games. We get probably the game of the day, and it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're hosting the Tampa Bay Lightning to pick them in this game with a total of 6. This line opened up in the favor of the Maple Leafs around minus 130. It's since dropped to a pick 'em. You've got the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are 25, 16, and 3 this year, and they're 19, 20, and 5 towards the under. They've won 5 4 out of their last 5. The only loss came to Boston. On the opposite side, you got the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're coming into this one 19-16-2, 21-23-3 towards the under. They're coming off of a big come-from-behind win where they were down 3-0 in the first period to go up and win 7-3 versus the Montreal Canadiens. They are also coming off of an overtime win versus the Devils in the game previous. I'm going to go after the Lightning here. I personally think that the Leafs are one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. I think the Leafs have a decent shot to make the Stanley Cup. But when it comes to it, I think it's a bad spot for them. And with the Lightning coming on, Lightning running as hot as they are, Leafs coming from a come from behind win against a team that they hate. I can get probably a good line on the Lightning to win this game in regulation because they don't want each other getting points. So I could look at this one as Tampa Bay in regulation at plus 145. Go into Toronto and take care of business. Could be kind of a flat spot for the Leafs. Islanders. You think the Islanders go into overtime? They haven't really been. The thing is, they haven't really been an overtime team as of late. They've been to overtime one time since December. Like, they went against Boston on January 5th. Previous to that, December 3rd. They haven't been a huge overtime team. So I'm not gonna buy into the Islanders right now. So there you go. Plus, I'm not gonna talk you off of plus 320, but I'm not personally gonna go and bet that. Hello, Robert. Bolts, yes. The over. I could see the over in the Bolts game. Sabres money line. I can't be the only smart person in chat today. Come on. I am on the Sabres in the over. Sharks money line. And the Vegas Golden Knights team total over. I like the Sharks today. And I would lean Vegas. I would lean Vegas tonight. Yes. I'm actually going to quickly text Nick. All right. I just want to see whether or not my plays for hockey are going to be up on the site today. Canes and the Blackhawks is the next one. We got 3 games left. The Canes are now up to, I see minus 315s now, with a total of 6. Let's see. This line opened up at 255 and it's up a lot, but it makes sense because all the money, all the tickets and everything is on the Canes. Hurricanes coming into this one, 27-16-3, 18-24-4 towards the under, coming off of a satisfying win. After losing back-to-back games against Anaheim and Buffalo, they go and they beat the Golden Knights. On the opposite side, another team that is coming off of beating the Golden Knights is the Chicago Blackhawks, a 5-3 win, snapping their 4-game losing streak versus the Vegas Golden Knights in their last game. They are, unfortunately, 15-28-3 this year, so they are the worst team in hockey. And they're 20-21-5 over-under record. I did not feel the need to get involved in this one. This is a big road favorite. Not anything I'm going to be interested in. Sorry to disappoint on that one, but this game is a pass. We got 2 more NHL games left. We get the Winnipeg Jets taking on the the Utah Coyotes with a total of 5.5 with Jets around. I'm starting to see minus 160s now for the Jets. Which I think that makes sense because the Jets are getting all the money, all the tickets, and the line's kind of moving towards them. They are 31-13-3. I believe they're the best team in hockey at the moment. 20-24-3 towards the under. They are coming off of a 3-1 loss to Calgary. Previous to that, they'd won 3 straight games, beating Seattle, Vancouver, and Colorado. This is obviously a Jets team that's been very, very good behind the solid goalie play of Hellebuck. On the opposite side, you got the Utah Hockey Club, which is kind of where we expected them to be. They're 19-19-7, so they're NHL 500. They're 17-24-4 against the spread. Not against the spread, over under. They're coming off of a nice 4-2 win versus the Blues. Previous to that, they came off of 3 losses in a row to the Rangers, the Canadiens, and the Islanders. And when it comes to this one, I feel like this one's another pass. The Jets should win this game. Their puck line is plus 160, so I wouldn't talk anybody off of a puck line here, but I don't really feel the need to jump on this one. It would be Jets or nothing. I'm not high on this Coyotes team like a lot of people are. So this one's a pass. Blackhawks plus 1.5. Getting around even money, that's fine. If you think that game can go to overtime, sure. Jets team total over 3.5, sure. Jets money line's a little bit expensive. I would have to puck line it. Or if you want to be a little bit more careful, -1. But I personally wouldn't be interested in a money line here. It'd have to be puck line or nothing. Here's the final game of the night: the Penguins and the Kings. The Kings are -185 with a total of 5.5. Pittsburgh coming into this one 19-21-8. They are 27-19-2 towards the over. They have lost 5 out of their last 6. Surprisingly, their one win was against Buffalo. Their other losses were against Washington, Seattle twice. Sorry, that's the same game. They've lost 4 out of 5, not 5 out of 6, because Covers has Tampa Bay twice and Ottawa. So this has been a Penguins team that has not really looked all that great as of late. This is a LA Kings team that is 25-13-5. They're 15-25-3 towards the under. They are coming off of a 4-2 loss versus Seattle. They have lost 3 out of their last 4. And when it came to this one, I see value in Pittsburgh here. I want the Pittsburgh Penguins here. I can get their money line at plus 160. I just feel like this could be a spot that this game can go to overtime, and from there, who knows? So I would like to have a plus 160 dog in overtime. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh here. I think Pittsburgh gets the job done and breaks a bunch of the parlays. One of the late night parlay breakers. Pens money line, yes, and the over 5.5. I don't know about the over just because the Kings have been a heavy under team, but although I feel like that can kind of be correlated, Pens in the over or Kings in the under. I think that one would be kind of correlated, to be honest. So if you like the Penguins, then yeah, it would be more towards an over. If you like the Kings, it would be more geared towards an under. That is all the NHL. Real quick, NHL for me today: Sharks, Wild, Sabres, over in the Sabres game, over in the Islanders game, Lightning in regulation, and Pittsburgh money line. Let's jump over to the NBA. We are looking at the Mavericks and the Hornets. The Mavericks are 6-point favorites with a total of 223. And as I'm looking over at covers, I see the Hornets are now the line's down to 4.5. With all the money and everything all over the Hornets, all over the Mavericks. That's a very interesting line movement for. Oh, this game's at noon. That's fine. I'm gonna quickly grab it here. Give me the Hornets. I know I missed my line. I'm just gonna take the Hornets out right here. I'm gonna grab them plus 160 in the early game. This line movement just kind of just screams Hornets. Not to mention, this is a Dallas team that is coming off of a, if I remember this right, they are coming off of a big win versus Oklahoma City. So they're coming off of a big time win here, and I think it's going to be a huge letdown spot for the Mavs. Give me the Hornets here to start off the day. We're going to grab plus 160. We're going to leave the points at the door. We don't need those 4.5 points. Give me the plus 160 Hornets money line at the noon game. Like it. Fun way to start off the NBA card. We'll go ahead and roll into the next one, which I kind of like this game as well. You get the Pistons taking on the Rockets. The Rockets are 8-point favorites with a total of 222. This game opened up at a 7. It's up to an 8. So line's not really moved in the right way. But we look at the two sides. Pistons 21 and 21 this year, 21, 20 and 1 against the spread, and 23 and 19 towards the over. They are coming off of 2 straight losses versus the Suns and the Pacers. And that Suns day on the 18th, that was a bad day for the city of Detroit in general. On the opposite side, you get the Houston Rockets coming into this one 23 and 13, 24, 16 and 1 against the spread, 22, 18 and 1 towards the over. They are coming off of winning 6 out of their last 7 games. Their only loss was a 5-point loss to the Kings, which I got at 3.5. That was a nice win for the Kings for me. I'm already on the Detroit Pistons in this game. I got their number at an 8, which is about what they're at now. This has been a scrappy scrappy Pistons team this year, and a team that I've been making some money on. So I'm gonna roll once again with another early game. This is a 2:00 game, probably about a 1:00 game in Houston. So I do think this one could be a little bit more of a sleepy game. Maybe look towards an under, but I think Detroit's able to compete with the Rockets in this one. So sign me up for a little bit of Pistons action plus the 8. Nicholas Handy got 8.5. That works too. I'm all over the Pistons with you. Let's keep on rolling. We get the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are a 6-point favorite in this one with a total of 235. I'm guessing there's some type of injury in this game because the line has jumped. Apparently, this line opened up at Grizzlies -1. And now it's up to a 5.5, 6, which is a little crazy. Let's go take a look at the injury report real quick because that might tell us some things we need to know. Rudy Gobert is a game-time decision. I guess that kind of leans me towards he might be out if the line's moving this much. I was originally going to look this was a closer line last night. I was originally looking Memphis, but I think I saw like a 3 or something last night. Now it's up to a 6. I guess it would be T-Wolves or nothing at this point. There's a very high spread, but this is also a Memphis Grizzlies team that's been one of the best teams against the spread this year. You got the T-Wolves 22 and 20 this year, 16, 25 and 1 against the spread, 22 and 20 towards the over, coming off of a 7-point loss versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got the Memphis Grizzlies coming into this one 27 and 15, 28-14 against the spread, 26-14 and 2 towards the over. They're coming off of back-to-back wins versus San Antonio in San Antonio. So very impressive winning back-to-back games in the same stadium. I can't go after it at this point. I think if you want the Grizzlies, you missed your line. So I'm gonna be passing on this game. At this point, it's T-Wolves or nothing. Are you going to be on the Chiefs? Honestly, probably. I think there's a good chance I'll probably bet the Chiefs and root for the Bills. Either way, I'll end up winning. So, yeah, I'll probably be on the Chiefs on Sunday, but I'm not 100% sure yet. We on the Grizzlies first half. I won't talk you off of it. Ohio State. Robert, I'm currently writing out a 15-1 preseason ticket on Notre Dame to win the national championship. I could see, although this was a 9.5. So I guess you got a better line, but this was a 9.5. It's dropped to an 8.5. I'm not too sure. Let's quickly look. Does it have? The money's about even, and the line's dropped to an 8.5. So I don't know. We'll see with that one. Milk Day, they don't lose. MLK Day, smart man. Who? Ohio State? Ohio State can't lose because it's MLK Day? I don't understand that one. All right, here's a system play. We get the Hawks taking on the Knicks. The Knicks are 6.5-point favorites. 236 is the total in this one. You got the Hawks coming into this one 22 and 19. They're 18 and 23 against the spread, and they're 25, 14 and 2 towards the over. It's actually been a Hawks team that's been playing well as of late. They've won 3 straight, 4 out of 5. The only game that they lost was against Phoenix. They played Phoenix twice in a row. So, and they are coming off of a nice 119-115 win in overtime versus the Celtics. On the opposite side, you got the Knicks, who are 27-16, 21-21-1 against the spread, and 24-19 against the towards the over. They are coming off of a blowout loss, losing by 17 points against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, I would normally lean towards the Knicks in this game. I'm going towards the over. I'm going on the over in this one just because it's a Hawks team. And betting the Hawks overs has been very, very lucrative this year. I mean, 25-14-2 towards the over. So they've been a heavy, heavy over team this year. So, although Knicks minus 6.5 could end up reaching my card, I'm just going to be taking the over in this one to start it off. No, Tim, I'm saying smart man to Robert for picking Ohio State. Okay. I just hope for a cover from Notre Dame. I would love to hit my 15-1, but it is what it is. Let's keep on rolling. We get the Suns and the Cavs. The Cavs are 7.5-point favorites with a total of 236 in this game. You got the Suns 21-20, 14-26-1 against the spread, 20-19-2 towards the over. The Suns have actually been playing a little bit better as of late. They've won 5 out of 6. Their only loss came to Atlanta on the 14th in the last 6 games. On the opposite side, you get the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are still arguably the best team in the NBA. They're 35-6. They are 28-13 against the spread, and they are 28-13 towards the over. So they've been a heavy over team this season. They're coming off of a 7-point win versus Minnesota, which was a bounce back spot from losing by 20 to the Thunder. I would look over or nothing in this game. I'm not, although this has been a Cleveland team that's been a heavy covering team. I'm not going to be laying 7.5 points here. I don't think that's a really that good of a spot. I would go over the 236 if I was going after anything in this game. Cleveland, heavy over team. They've gone over in 3 straight, 5 out of 6, and 7 out of 9. But ultimately for me, I don't feel the need to go after every single game on this NBA card. I got a bunch of the early games, but the late games are kind of not really all that appealing to me. So right now, it would be a lean towards the over, but I like the Suns. Suns have been playing some good basketball as of late. I'm not going to talk you off of them right now. So, but for me, I don't really feel the need to go after this one. Kind of similar to this game. The Golden State Warriors are 10-point dogs to the Boston Celtics. This line actually opened up at a 5, and it's jumped up to a 10. That just kind of tells me there's probably some injuries on the Warriors side. Still no Draymond, but they really haven't had him. Honestly, they still have Curry, they still have Wiggins, but it's just like this is a Warriors team that, hey, I kind of guessed their downfall. They're now 21-20 after starting off the year really, really good. They're one of the top teams in the West, and now they're 1 game over 500. Beautiful. 19-21-1 against the spread, 18-23 towards the under. They are coming off of 2 straight wins against Minnesota and Washington, so that's a little bit interesting. Although the Washington win makes sense, but they did not cover. That's right. That was the game no, never mind. I didn't bet that. That was 2 days ago. But Washington covered in that game. That's kind of fun. On the opposite side, you've got the Boston Celtics, who I believe are coming off of an ugly loss, an overtime loss. 119-115 versus Atlanta. But we could say, oh, it's going to be a bounce back spot. No, I'm not taking the Celtics here on the road as a 10-point favorite. And I'm not jumping on the Warriors because I have not been betting the Warriors. So I don't really feel like I have to go after this game either. Maybe a lean towards an under, but this game is gross. Celtics are nothing. I want nothing to do with the Warriors. I am with you on that one. How about a 1-800-GAMBLER game? The Pelicans are 11-point favorites again. They're 11-point favorites against the Jazz. 232.5 the total. I believe this line opened up. This line opened up around a 7.5, 8, and now it's up to an 11. The Pelicans are 11-32 in this bigger favorites. Obviously, they're back to being pretty much healthy at this point. It's going to be way too late. Although this team has won 3 in a row and 4 out of 5, and they've covered in 5 straight. They are 11-32, 19-24 against the spread, 23, 19-1 towards the over. I'm never laying 11 points with that team though. Even though they covered last time. They are actually coming off of a 11-point win against the Jazz in their last game. Or sorry, a 13-point win against the Jazz in their last game. They covered at 12. The Jazz are 10-30 this year. They're 21-19. They're 23-17 towards the over. It is Jazz or nothing. Especially coming off of there's a back-to-back games that these two teams are playing against each other. So it's tough to beat the same team twice, but at the same time, it's the Utah Jazz. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to bet this game. It's Jazz or nothing. And it's going to be nothing. I know the Pelicans are going to be a bet-on team throughout the rest of the year, but I am not laying 11 points on this team. So, no, thank you. The NFL is the most rigged sport ever. Lions throw an interception, and the Lions player just stood there and watched him run for a touchdown. And then Mahomes not to mention that bad pass interference call last night. That should have been offensive pass interference. It turned into defensive pass interference. It turned what was going to be a 4th down into a 1st down and then a Bills touchdown. So, no, the NFL is a shit product. And we're going to get a shit Super Bowl when the Chiefs take on the Eagles. So, yeah, no. Stop betting. Markel, come on. I'm like, I bet the Chiefs, and that game was rigged. Like, I bet the Chiefs. The Chiefs covered for me. The game was rigged. I just happened to be on the right side of the rigged side. Final game on the NBA card is the Bulls and the Clippers. The Clippers are 6-point favorites. 227.5 is your total. The Bulls are 18-25 this year. 22-1, and they're 20-23 towards the under this year. They have lost 5 straight games. On the opposite side, you got the Clippers, who are 24-17. They're 25-15-1 against the spread. 15-26 towards the under. They have won 4 straight and covered in 4 straight and covered in 6 out of their last 7. It's Clippers or nothing. But I really don't feel like I need to get involved in the late games. I'm happy with my card the way it is. In the NBA, just going and grabbing the Hornets, grabbing the Pistons, and then the over in the Hawks game. I'm happy with my card in the NBA today. And hopefully we can take a step up, and because I know I'm down a little bit to start 2025 in the NBA. Hopefully, can start digging myself out of that hole. If you already know it's rigged, then why complain about it? That's all I'm saying. I mean, we can still have fun complaining about it. Lean clips. I would lean clips. Yeah. That is all of the games for today. I know the show was kind of short. A, it's just me. B, there wasn't much chat, so I didn't have a lot of distractions in between each game. I did kind of go over some of the line movements and stuff, market movements. So at least it's a little bit. It had a little bit more to it than I normally did for solo shows. I'm going to try to improve on that a little bit more. But that is everything for today. The card will be available after the show. We got to figure out Knicks NHL stuff. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Best bet. The over in the Sabres game. Over in the Sabres game will be the best bet. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. We'll be back again tomorrow. Peace out, guys.